Do you think there's too much virtue signaling going on? It's a good question, Paul. 10,000%. Way too much, way too much. Way too much on not just the left, obviously, but even on the right wing. There's so much identity politics. There's so much pandering. There's so much lying, in my personal perspective, where everyone's so sensitive that they're just making everything worse. There's way too, like, that's why I'm saying people are like, Anomaly, are you going to condemn them? Like, guys, I'm a kid on my couch, or a young adult, or an older adult, depending how old you are. Me, it doesn't matter. Like, oh, I condemn what he said, and everyone's like, Anomaly condemned. It's like, what do you think about that man who said that about the Christians? I was like, I condemn Ilhan Omar, and I condemn the anti-Semites. Oh my God, Anomaly condemned. No, it's all fake. It's all a lie. And also, a lot of the things they're condemning aren't even really that bad. Like, to me, violence and like insatiable hate towards an entire group of people, that's condemn-worthy. But people are like, the cartoon needs to be condemned complete. I'm like, guys, it's not that. You say you're for free speech. Someone asked this earlier, so I'm gonna address it. They're talking about the New York Times cartoon, the anti-Semitic New York Times cartoon. You know me, I can't stand the New York Times. I would love to just sit here and blame things on the New York Times because they're awful, disgusting, pretty much psyop newspaper. But that cartoon was not that bad. I'm sorry. I don't know what you want to hear. It was a Netanyahu dog and Trump was following him blind. Guys, this is the United States of America. Ben Garrison, who's a conservative cartoonist, he had his Instagram taken down. He does edgier stuff than that all the time. I'm sorry, but I'm not going to be the guy who's like, that's condemn-worthy. Like, it's all so fake. And I was going to do a whole stream on it, maybe later this week. I didn't feel like it. I actually want to stop Islamophobia, anti-Semitism, all that stuff, but you can't stop it by passing speech laws, being a total hypocrite when it comes to cartoons and free speech and all these stuff, and act like it's just going to mysteriously go away. It's like racist and sexism. Like, if you call everything sexism and racism when it's not, one, you're completely destroying the terminology. You're making a fool of yourself, and now nobody respects you anymore. But also, you're actually increasing hate because instead of being like, this is the bad group of people, these people have a point, you say, all of these people must be condemned and no one can criticize or make cartoons or say anything that has to do with anything. And it's like, and then the conservatives are like, we love free speech. We are the conservatives of America who love free speech only when it goes in our favor. When it isn't, we condemn and we tell them not to do it. It's like, it's all so annoying. And I think the real reason I speak out against it is, one, I actually believe in free speech and the right to religious freedom, but also it's not helpful. Like, these people think it's helpful. It's just making the fringe groups matter. It's like what the Democrats did. They're like, you're all right-wingers. And then they're like, why is the right wing growing around the world? I'm like, well, you've called people who aren't right-wing. You've called everyone Nazis, no matter how much they support Jewish people in Israel. And you've called everyone racist and sexist. And then you wonder why the right's growing? It's because you've called everyone that. So it's the same thing with anti-Semitism or Islamophobia or all these things. If people want to have a question or have a conversation about anything Jewish or anything Islamic, and you call them Islamophobic or anti-Semitic right off the jump, you're not stopping anti-Semitism or Islamophobia. You're actually like growing it, and it's growing and growing and growing to the point where people are legitimately more mad than I've ever seen them. And I'm like, guys, am I the only one who's going to tell the truth about this? I guess so. And trust me, it's not fun. I've been attacked by right-wing journalists for saying the same stuff. I'm going to do a whole video probably on it, but I don't do it because I hate Jewish people and I hate, that's mostly who's attacking me now. I do it because I actually like Jewish people, and I don't want to see them in trouble. And I don't want this country to suffer and everyone to suffer because I'm a liar. So it's like, it's not been fun. People definitely don't want you to say certain things, and I say them. So, great question. People absolutely virtue signal way too much, and the real tragedy is that it hurts the people it actually claims to help. And I think more and more people are waking up to that. When did everyone get so triggered? Within the last 5 years. Even in 2008, nobody cared about this stuff. It's definitely within the last couple of years, people have gotten extremely overly sensitive and overly fake. Don't stop the honest dialogue, said Anissa. We're trying. Tiffany, good question. So what's happening with